Hello and welcome to another episode of Wisdom Kipa Wednesday with me, Kipa Chitan. I'm here to teach you about the medicine, the energy of the animals and how they correlate to us, how they teach us what we need to know about ourselves and what we need to know about each other. Today I am speaking about turtle. Turtle. It is one of my favorite. It was my first pet, actually, was a turtle. There is so much I can talk about when it comes to turtle. They are such a symbol of so many things. I will start with their physical features first and foremost. With the turtle, I don't know if you can see this on the screen, but on their shell, they have what's called scutes. So on the middle, there's scutes, and on the outside, there's scutes. The middle ones, there's 13, which is a connection with the moon. The feminine energy, the navigation, which I talked about in another episode. When it came to another animal, I'm not sure which one it was right now, but when it comes to the turtle, that 13 represents the moons of a year. You know, on a calendar, on a Gregorian calendar, we have 12 months. But when you look at the cycle of the moon, there's actually 13 moons within a year. Sometimes we get 2 moons in the same month, which is the second one's called a blue moon. This is the connection that the turtles have to this because they are, like I said, navigators, whether they be tortoises, whether they be sea turtles, or whether they be river turtles. They all have that same pattern. And you can pick up any turtle and they're going to have the 13 scutes on the middle. They also have anywhere from 20 to 30 scutes on the outside, so the outside ring, which represents the cycle in between the moons. So all the days in between each moon is represented on there as well. Turtles are a representation of not only that moon, but of Mother Earth and the connection between the two. Mother Earth being that grounding, that support for us. So when turtles are around, there's that steadiness. You hear the myths and the lores about the slow-moving turtle, you know, the tortoise and the hare, all these different stories about turtle. That slow movement is not only that they're so connected with the earth, it's because they take their time. You know, it takes a while for the moon to cycle. It takes a while for that, from full moon to full moon, from new moon to new moon, however you want to count it. They take their time to absorb things, to pay attention to things, to experience the world around them. You know, they're going to see it for a while. If you're a slow mover, you're going to see that same thing in your view for quite some time, as opposed to something else that might run right past it and miss it. So sometimes we need to slow down in order to fully understand that message. And I think for us, we've learned that, maybe not fully, but we have learned that in the past year or so, is how to slow down, to reconnect, how to slow down, to observe things in a different perspective, to where if we move too fast, we're going to miss it completely. And we missed our chance at learning a vital lesson in our life, you know. They are an animal that gives birth through an egg. And so the babies are born out of an egg. So this is a trait to pay attention to as well, because there's a hatching. There's a process that happens inside that egg. Just as we have a process inside the womb, the baby turtles are actually, you know, a lot of them are buried in the earth and they emerge, and then they seek out, like with the sea turtles, they seek out going back to the ocean. But they're left alone. So it's like they learn through that connection of the mother, through the connection of Mother Earth, through the connection of the moon, where to go and how to navigate life. And so this is something that we get to take in and tap into as well. If we think about the energy of turtle, we can think about our connection with the earth, with the moon, with the stars, that in combination will give us the answers that we need on the path, which path to go. You know, we may have previously gone past it so fast that we missed a turn. And so we get to go back and it's like, oh yeah, maybe I didn't look at that second rock that I should have turned left instead of right because I was going too fast. The grounding is also there for the connection. You know, I talk about this a lot with a lot of animals, is the connection with Creator. I feel like animals give us a greater sense of that connection because they don't have that human life that interferes. They have a certain way of being. They have a certain way of appreciating what's around them. They're in nature all the time, and I think we forget that we're part of nature as well because we have such this busyness going on. And I think that's where we lost a lot of things. You know, we're so concerned on busyness, and which has turned to business, that we lose that connection with nature. And so Turtle tries to reel us back into that so that we understand more of this earth itself and of each other. You know, like I said, the moon, the stars, and the earth below us. As I was starting to say, is that connection with Creator is when we slow down and when we listen, we get so much. We get a more enriched life through that spirituality, through that connection with Wakantanka, with Great Spirit. I can't speak enough about that, is having that spiritual foundation, that grounding force on earth in order to connect with something that's more on a cosmic or universal level. We need to understand it here in order to fully understand it. We need to walk the earth and know that Mother Earth supports us, and know that when we slow down and connect with her, that there's so much we can learn. You can learn so much just by staring at a tree. And the turtle knows this because they move so slow that they are staring at a tree for sometimes. But yes, and just the gentleness as well. When they move in water, they adapt to water and land. All turtles, except tortoises, they will experience water, but not as much as a sea turtle or a river turtle. But there is that adaptation. You know, the earth teaches us how to adapt to certain things. You know, we're not always going to live in the water. We're not always going to live on the land. Things change. Change is consistent. There's inevitable that change is going to happen, and turtle knows that. Even though they're moving so slow, they know change is going to come. You know, and the speed, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter how fast you go, just as long as you're enjoying that journey. You know, we talk about it's the journey, not the destination. It's like, why are you going so fast? To go where? Where are you going? Why you want to get there so fast? Why you want to skip all this? You know, so take a pause and enjoy those things in between the start line and the finish line. Because, I mean, there really is no start line and finish line when you really come down to it. You look at the turtle, there's that roundness, there's that circle, that never-ending circle, no beginning, no ending. There's so many lessons, even ones that I'm not conveying, that if you were to look into a turtle's eyes, if you were to stare at a turtle's shell or look at their feet or their tail, you're going to learn so much from it. So take that time. It doesn't have to be a turtle. It can be anything. But take that time to really look at it and pay attention to it and see what the lesson is there for you. Thank you once again. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up. Comment below if there's any other animals you'd love to learn about, and subscribe, share this with your friends. And as always, thank you for joining me on this Wisdom Kipa Wednesday.